If you're a golfer who does not know how to start your downswing, then you're in the right place, because in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to do this, and I'm going to back it up with some data. So before we get into the main bulk of the lesson, the first thing that I will say is that a bad backswing sets up a bad downswing. So your backswing does matter, but I'm going to assume that you have a good top of backswing position. So now let's jump into the video. There are three sections we're going to go through today: the concepts, data to back up the concepts, and practical drills that you can implement straight away. So what are we seeing in terms of this transition motion? If I was to kind of put an imaginary dot on my chest, an imaginary dot on my belt buckle, or the center of my pelvis right there, what we would see the best players in the world do is, as they go to the top of the backswing and they start down, technically just before they finish their backswing, is that the dots will lower and work sort of diagonally forwards in this direction. So what we are seeing here is, number one, a pressure shift of both the upper body and the lower body back to the lead side, but also a dropping of both the pelvis and the chest. Now this is a crucial point, because I see so many issues in terms of amateur golf swings struggling with their downswing sequencing because of this. So a couple of them is, number one, they will get to the top and they won't drop anything, they'll just turn. In an effort to try and get open, they turn. Now when you do this, you're going to swing over the top, not what we want to see. The other one is, rather than the pelvis and the chest dropping, what they'll often do is they'll kick that pelvis up and forward straight away. That gets the early extension in there, and the right shoulder will then drop to try and give yourself a chance of hitting the golf ball. Again, you're not going to be able to generate much speed from there. You're going to be very inconsistent. Rather than me just say this, let me actually pull up an example on the screen right now. Let's take a look at Tiger. And what we can see, especially from the downline view with Tiger here, is if I draw a line on the top of his head and on the back edge of his butt, is we can see as he gets to the top, especially if you watch the pelvis and the head, you will see this compression movement of his chest working down and forwards and his hips working down and forwards. Now what you'll also notice is, as he's doing this, the head will drop, the hips will work back to square, and the chest is staying closed. Now that sounds like a lot, but actually a lot of these things are going to fix themselves if you do this movement correctly. Because if I go to the top of the backswing and I drop my chest and my pelvis diagonally forwards this way, my right hip is automatically going to stay back, or my right glute is going to be staying on the wall, I should say. The next thing is, my left hip is naturally going to want to come back to meet that wall. Again, I am not thinking about it, but you can see it's come back to meet it right there. I have not thought about my left hip opening, it has just done it naturally. And then the other final thing is, if I do these movements correctly, my chest is going to want to stay kind of passive and closed. So this is already now starting to create some separation between my hips and my chest. Now this is going to give me the space to then be able to get my arms working down on plane. From the front on view, what we also see is, as golfers are doing this dropping compression movement, they're shifting to their left leg. How do you know if you shifted enough? Well, if you do this movement and you roughly get to about lead arm parallel, maybe just after lead arm parallel, and draw a line straight up from the edge of your left ankle, you can see the knee, the hip, the edge of the left shoulder are all back in one straight line. Now, once you're in this position, you have basically done the main heavy lifting of your downswing. You have set yourself up to now get in a position to where you can explode up and out of the ground and get that great power, that great speed, consistency, rotation, all of these things. Now, one thing I do want to talk about is what the hands should be doing in this situation, because I see a lot of golfers, they get confused on, should I leave my hands up, should I pull the hands down? What do we see with the data, the science, everything behind it? Best players in the world, as they get to the top, they are doing this body compression movement, and as they are doing this, the hands are accelerating very quickly in transition, pulling downwards sort of towards their trail foot. Now we will see the hands will pretty much go from 0 miles per hour as they change direction, anywhere to 20, 22 miles an hour by the time they get to in between left arm parallel and shaft parallel. Left arm parallel, shaft parallel. So in between there. That's what we see the best players in the world do. Now amateurs, A, do not reach the same peak hand speed, so they're not pulling down as hard, and B, they do it much later, so it takes them longer to get to their peak hand speed. Now I was always taught, look, if you're going to say anything, you better be sure to be able to back it up, and here is the data to do so. Now this isn't my work, this is actually Alex Laflemme's. Again, I'll leave his handle up there. Phenomenal golf coach. Go check him out on social media, and also the Sportsbox AI app. And what he's done here is amazing. It is the best versus the rest, aka pros versus amateurs. And what it's showing us here is that professional golfers in transition drop, it's focusing more on the pelvis, but this does apply to the chest. They are dropping their pelvis very quickly and very rapidly from the top of the backswing here to lead arm parallel. They drop it very quickly and very rapidly. Now, from there, they then explode up out of the ground all before they get back to impact. And this is why when you look at Tiger's swing, you see sort of the pelvis drop and come back up all before he gets to impact. This is an extremely powerful move. And I can see golfers, I have golfers who are in their 80s who are doing this motion, clients that I teach. And again, it's not about quantity, it is about quality. Now, from there, what we can also see is the rest. So what are the rest doing? Well, they are either dropping the pelvis but doing it very minimally or very slowly, but as well as that, they are also moving that pelvis straight upwards. So again, this is going to cause early extension. So this is a phenomenal video. Again, this is going to back up everything we've said in today's video. So let's now run through a drill that is really going to help you in terms of learning this movement, but as well as this, I'm also going to give you a swing thought in a bit that is going to help you in terms of getting this compression movement. So what I want you to do is set up to the golf ball like so. I'm going to set up just on the inside, and when we are doing this step drill, you're going to set up normally, and then you're going to bring your lead foot in line with the golf ball. Now, as you swing back, as you roughly get to around sort of chest height with your hands, you are going to step. And as you step, I want you to feel like your body is lowering, so compressing down, and obviously your pressure is shifting to your lead foot. And you can see as I do that, I've really compressed, and then you can push out of the ground. So you will really feel your pelvis sort of do like a U shape. So as you step, you are lowering as you're moving laterally, and then you start to push up. So very much your pelvis is working on this U shape. And this is an incredibly important movement in the golf swing that a lot of people are suffering with. And as well as this, you'll also feel like your chest is moving down and forwards and then clearing up and out of the way. So this is a very, very important movement. So again, if I do this, I go here, I step down and up, and you can see as I'm doing that, I'm really feeling this compression and pushing up out of the ground. Here's what it should look like. Set up normally, bring that foot in as I swing back, hands get to the chest. Let's now hit it from here. So a really practical swing thought that you can use out on a golf course, and actually you can get a buddy to help you with this, is I like to tell golfers, look, imagine you're at a dress and I have got a golf club just resting on the top of your head. Now, if you do a good backswing pivot, we will see that at the top of the backswing, your head will pretty much still be touching that golf club. Then from there, as you get to the top, you want to feel like as you start to shift, your pelvis and your chest drops as you shift towards your left leg, and you can see I'm creating space between the top of my head and that line. So if I go to the top, my head's on the line, then from there I do that motion, you can see I'm creating the space, and then I'm pushing up and through. So let me show you what this looks like. Again, if I set up to the golf ball now, I feel like that alignment sticks on the top of my head, keep it, drop it, and all the way through. Here's what it should look like if I was doing it in an actual swing. So there you have it. That is how you start your downswing correctly. Now, if you need more one-to-one help, I offer online coaching on the Gill platform. The link is down below. And if you have enjoyed today's video, please give it a like and subscribe. And I hope to see you back here soon.